All right, now for the third challenge in our event today. It's with Sandy Austin in the um, Believe It or Not, I Care 12/12 I Care Day Challenge. And it's all about inspiring folks to have that positive impact in the lives of others and doing it over a 12-week period. And Sandy, she's got what she calls the Bionic team, where she's been putting this into practice and where it came about from. She's going to share more about that. But Bionic stands for Believe It or Not, I Care. And I know folks all over, we need to hear that.
Mm.
I care. I care. So we do care and love that you're here to share with us. So what have you got for us on the Believe It or Not, I Care 12/12 I Dare Day Challenge?
Thank you so much, Patrice and Cindy. Great to be with you guys today. And Elizabeth, great to see you here too. Thank you so much to be the chance to be with you and your listeners. What I'm going to do is I'm first going to share a video that shows the beginning of Bionic, and you'll see where this whole thing came from. So let me go ahead and share that now. Let's see, let me do this. Make sure I get this all set.
And I know it might seem like a little bit kind of heavy at first, but it's the results that have come about
Oh,
putting
yes.
this in action.
Yes, thank you for saying that, Patrice. It is, you guys, it is really heavy what I share at first. Just like I'm in this school today that just had a shooting recently. But what's amazing is when these kids, they want to make a difference and they want to stop the bullying once and for all. That is a lot of times the reason for these shootings and for the difficulties in the schools, the bullying and everything. And so, but this video will show you how these kids want to be the generation to stop bullying once and for all.
Screaming sirens, flashing lights, screaming sirens, flashing lights, yellow crime tape. Nothing could have prepared me for what I was about to face with the shooting at Columbine High School. 2 years later, 4 suicides, 4 more funerals at the start of that school year. At one table in art class when I was a school counselor at another school, at one table in art class, there were 3 students. Just 3 months later, only 1 student was left at that table, Brandy. And kids started coming up to her and saying, "When are you going to kill yourself?" We had to change those conversations. Hi, my name is Sandy, and I'm known as the Kids Empowerment Champion because as a result of those tragedies, it still kills my heart. I started a Bionic team, which was a school club called Believe It or Not, I Care, to empower those kids to be able to reach out to their friends who were new, sick, bullied, hospitalized, or lost loved ones. We wanted to empower those kids by creating a school climate that is a caring culture to be able to let those kids know, the kids that are hurting, know that they're seen, they matter, and they're not alone. Brandy, the girl that was at that table, the kids were saying, "When are you going to kill yourself?" She knew all 4 of those guys that took their lives. And what happened is after the 4th suicide, she came running to my office that morning and said, "Miss Austin, going home from school last night, I was at a stoplight, and I thought, if I see a semi truck coming down and coming into the intersection, I'm going to pull out in front of it, and I'll be gone, and the pain will be gone." No semi truck came, Miss Austin. Please help me. You got to stop me. Oh, you guys, I talked with Brandy for hours and hours and hours over those next 3 years. Brandy is the reason I started Bionic. So it's just incredible to see what's going on. What was happening is as I was counseling those kids from Columbine and the kids at my school, I kept hearing that their friends had heard something about their plans to shoot up the school or to take their lives, but their friends didn't do anything because they didn't want their friends to get mad at them or to break a confidence. I thought we have got to empower these kids in how to reach out to their peers and help their peers that are going through tough times. It was interesting. A few years ago, I was talking to after starting B.I.O.N.I.C, we had started in some elementary schools. And so in elementary school, I was there talking to those guys about our bully prevention program. And I said, you guys, my generation has failed you. I said, bullying was happening when I was in school. When my parents were in school, right then a third grader said, Miss Austin, maybe our generation can be the generation to stop bullying once and for all. Woo! Oh. What's exciting is these kids, after going through the program, they continue on and they keep it going through their lives. Eva, one of the girls, she came back to see me when she was in college. She said, Miss Austin, you know, I learned from B.I.O.N.I.C. There was a girl on my floor in my dorm at college that lost a loved one. And she said, everyone was avoiding her because they didn't know what to say. And so she said, I just went and bought a Snickers candy bar and got an index card, wrote a note on it. I went up to her and I said, you know, I'm sorry to hear I heard you lost a loved one. You don't know me and I don't know you, but I just want to let you know I'm thinking of you. The girl started crying. She said, thank you. She said, I'm from Kansas. You're the first person that's talked to me in a week. She said, I've been so lonely. I was even starting to think about suicide. Thank you for caring. I know I'm going to be okay now. B.I.O.N.I.C is 21 years old now. And what is exciting, B.I.O.N.I.C is 21 years old now. And each year we talk to our kids and find out to get a survey. And so 97% of our kids say that B.I.O.N.I.C gives them a reason to come to school. 97% of the kids say it helps them to know B.I.O.N.I.C has helped them to learn teamwork. So those of you that are business people out there, you want these kids at your business because they know how to make things happen. And 100% of them say they have the confidence to make a difference. When our kids hear about tragedy, they step into it. They don't avoid it. They know what to say to someone that has lost a loved one. They know the signs. You guys remember Brandy, the girl that was at that table? Now she is 41 years old. She has 3 kids, and she has prevented so many suicides of her generation, of her kids' generation. You guys, these kids know what they're doing. They are stopping bullying. They are the generation. You guys, with all the budget cuts across the country, last spring, 72 schools were not able to renew their B.I.O.N.I.C teams. Kids are falling through the cracks at their schools. We need help. We need to empower these kids to keep going and to be that generation to stop bullying once and for all. You guys, here is a QR code. Would you guys be willing to help? Still, the budget cuts are bad. Foundations that we've gotten grants from, they don't have the money. We are $35,000 behind. And you guys, would you be willing to donate? Even $10. Just say, kids, we believe in you. Thank you.
Thank you, Sandy. What a beautiful, worthwhile cause. Thank you.
All right. Let me stop sharing. There we go. All right. So as you see, that is a tough thing. It is tough information and everything, but those kids are amazing and they are making a difference with their lives. They are stopping bullying. And we're hoping it is a tall order to stop bullying once and for all, but that's what B.I.O.N.I.C is all about. So thank you again for letting us be here. And so what we did is we created something a few years ago. If you want me to go right into 12/12 I Care Day, I can do that.
Yeah, I want to hear. So what came out of that? I know I heard the story that when the kids wanted to expand this from just the schools and it was 10 and 10 Eye Care Day
Yes.
born. So tell us about that.
You bet. All right. So what happened is, so we have B.I.O.N.I.C teams across the world, elementary through college. And so the kids, I was talking to them one day and they said, Miss Austin, wouldn't it be amazing to see how much of a difference we can make across the world in one day if all of our B.I.O.N.I.C teams are doing things? And like say with us being here in the United States and some are in Taiwan, if everyone's doing a certain amount of hours a day, then when we're doing it during the day, people on the other side of the world are sleeping. So maybe 12 for 24 hours, we can be doing outreaches across the world. And so we came up at that time with 10/10 Eye Care Day. But since it's not 10/10 for another 8 months, we thought, or 10 months, we thought, well, let's do something for now, because we originally started it with 12/12 Eye Care Day to do something during the holidays. So what it is on December 12th, so coming up pretty soon. What happens is we encourage everyone to reach out to 12 people that day, one person each hour for 12 hours, to make a difference in 12 people's lives. So we tell the kids, you guys, when you wake up that morning at 7 o'clock, call your grandma and tell her you love her. Then at 8 o'clock, before you go to school, put a piece of candy on the pillow of every person in your family, so that when they go to bed that night, they know you were thinking about them that day. Then when you get to school, bring a flower for the secretary. And then we tell the kids, we have different ideas throughout the day for the kids to do to make a difference in 12 people's lives. At the end of the school day, what we always did is we would go to the fire department or police department with a platter of cookies or a platter of veggies and say to them, thank you for saving lives. Thank you for what you're doing in our community. Then we would tell the kids, okay, you guys, now there are 5 more hours in the day. When you go home, think of other things you can be doing for other people in your neighborhood, people in the hospital. Stop by the hospital, bring by a gift basket for the nurses' stations, different things like that. And so that's what has happened. So what happened is, when I was doing all this, you guys, I was a school counselor, as you heard in the video. And so what happened is my last school that I did this with, before I started doing B.I.O.N.I.C full time, we did 24,000 outreaches in that one day. We only had about 1,200 kids at our school. So how did we do 24,000 outreaches? We were encouraging every kid to do something, but we also encouraged them to have their parents do things at their businesses. So they were doing things at their businesses. We encouraged them to have their siblings do things at their schools. Also, some of the restaurants in the area, one said, hey, on this day, if you come between these 10 hours, then we will give a 10% discount to you for coming. Another restaurant said, what we're going to do is we're not going to give you guys a discount. You guys care. So what we want you to do is, in order to be able to empower these kids to do more outreaches, we're going to give 10% of what you purchased that day. We're going to give that back to the B.I.O.N.I.C team at that school. So that will encourage them to keep doing things. So that's how we reached out to 24,000 people in that day. It was incredible. So with this being 12/12 Eye Care Day, you guys, for you guys to have some ideas, we have even a caring culture tip sheet that we have as our free gift for all of you guys for listening in today. And what that is, you can go to giftfromsandy.com, giftfromsandy.com, and it has a list of 13 different ideas that you can do that day to be able to reach out to the people in your community, in your church, in your schools, in your businesses, in your neighborhood, your relatives, on social media. But that's a way that you guys can reach out to everyone. So on 12/12 Eye Care Day, let's see what kind of a difference we can make throughout the day and show these kids, hey, you guys, the adults are doing it too. So some schools do it on 10/10, some do it on 11/11, some do it on 12/12, some do it in the middle in March on 3/3. There they only have to do three things, but so people are taking these on and doing like one thing on 1/1 on January 1st, two things on February 2nd, three things on March 3rd, and they do it. So some people are doing it year round, and that's what's exciting. Whenever I wake up in the morning, I see, oh, it's 6/6. Okay, what are the 6 things I'm going to do today? So anyway, it's exciting to do it every month. We can get the habit of making a difference in people's lives.
And I think that's what this is. Like you started off like one day, but that it starts to become a habit, and then it's like you're actually looking, okay, what could I do to help that, or that you will recognize, if you see someone that's a little looks like they're having a down day or whatever, like give them a smile, or if they're an associate with you or something, like, hey, you look a little down. Do you want to
Mm,
talk?
mm,
Things like that. It starts to so that they can actually recognize that,
Yes,
yeah. And as with the work you did, like the kids are learning to initiate that outreach.
yes.
They're not holding back and like wondering like, how do I do that? So maybe you could speak a little bit more for how to make those first steps
Ooh,
for someone who's shy, or how to embolden folks, shall we say.
ooh, ooh, I love that. And Patrice,
Oh,
what I've seen through the years, what's interesting, my very first main leader that I had at one of my schools, the thing is during the suicides at my school, I was the peer counseling co-sponsor. And so as I was hearing about different things, I thought, hey, there were a couple kids that had applied to be peer counselors, but they were very shy. And the other counselor that was the sponsor said, they're too shy to be peer counselors. I said, there are shy kids at school, will only feel comfortable talking to those shy kids. And so that's where what was so neat is when her name was Carissa, that became my first leader. She was one of those shy kids. At our very first Bionic team meeting, what she did is that she was reading, doing the agenda. She's going, okay, you guys, this is what we're going to do. Bionic is then she'd kind of peek over and then go back up again. Okay, no, 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 no. Then she'd peek down, then she'd go back up. She was so shy. You guys, after 4 months of doing Bionic that year, at the very last meeting, Carissa's going, okay, Jason, now you're going to do this, right? You're going to do this as an outreach to this stuff. Okay, great. All right. Now, Maria, you're going to do this, right? You guys, it's incredible to see what happens with these kids that just start getting the confidence. What happens, you guys, is that it's like they get their eyes off their phones. At school, we see kids all the time on their phones and they're not talking to each other. But what happens is these kids, they know they don't have to become best friends with the people they're trying to reach out to, but we teach them how to say hi. We teach them how to see the kids that seem kind of like they're lost. Maybe they're new kids at school. They're kind of wandering around, kind of looking like this. And so we tell the kids basic things that they can just say, hey, how are you doing? I'm Sandy, or I'm Maria, whatever. Or, hey, good to see you today, or just little things like that. And so what happens is the more they're involved in Bionic, they learn, they get the confidence that, well, let me tell you an example. One of our kids at our presentations, when we were doing a presentation at a conference, someone said to the kids, so what have you guys learned from Bionic? Kids said, well, let me tell you, last week we had a new student lunch. And so what happened is we welcomed the new students from that month to the school. And so who I met was a kid that his parents were going through a divorce. It was a difficult divorce, very tough one. They moved to our area, they don't know anyone. And so he's really discouraged and depressed and mad that he had to move and that his parents got a divorce. And so he said, I asked him, what are you interested in? He was interested in theater, in music, and anime. So what happened is he introduced that kid to kids in all those groups. So that very day he was eating lunch with those kids and he's doing fine. Then he said, then the next day, what happened is we had a kid in the hospital. And so we do hospital visits to bring a Mug and Hershey's Kisses to kids that are in the hospital, or Mug and Balloon if there's a dietary restriction. So we went there and we said, hey, how are you doing? Oh, my battery is running low. Oh,
We're almost done.
I know. Come on, computer, hang in here. I'm going to talk as I'm running back to get my um, my thing. So I'm gonna talk as I'm walking right behind me. Okay. So what
Yeah.
happened is he said that what happened is after that session. mm, He said that after that session, what happened after we met with that girl in the hospital, what we did is he said the mom came out and said, I'm sorry, my lighting is bad now. Um, there we go. Okay, he said what happened is what he said is what happened was his mom came out into the hall and said, "You guys, Thank you. You guys are the only ones that came to see her in the week and a half that she's been here, and she was really getting discouraged. And so, but I saw today with you guys being there, her countenance changed, and I think she's going to be okay now. And then he said, then the next night we did pie deliveries to the kids who lost loved ones. And so there were two kids that we reached out to, and I could tell just the with the tears that the family shared with us, that really meant a lot. So they know what to say to someone that's lost a loved one, what to say to a new kid, what to say to someone that's in the hospital. They're learning these things. So they're learning these skills, and it's continuing on in their lives. The oldest kids I worked with personally in Bionic teams are 41 years old now. What they're doing, like that Brandy, they're teaching even their own kids now how to reach out to people. So that's what's exciting, Patrice, is how this caring, learning about how to care is spreading through these kids the rest of their lives.
And I know you had mentioned too, it's not just in the schools, like as they get older and they're bringing it into the workplaces, and this can apply to you in your community. If there's someone new in your community, if there's someone in the hospital, if there's someone that's lost a loved one, that these tips and things that you can do, it works for all ages, all circumstances there. And it's really about developing that culture of care. And I would love to see that grow. So
Oh,
is
thank
there any kind of last words that you want to share with folks here on creating those eye care days and hopefully carrying it on to years of eye care?
Oh, yes. And that's what's exciting, you guys. By what I see with these kids that we've trained, we're impacting generations to come because they're going, like you said, in the businesses. They are starting bionic teams there. Very simple outreaches. We don't do whole big things. We do a new student. We do a lunch for new students or new employees. We do those outreaches that I said. Also, we have a bully prevention program. Very simple. And that's what's exciting is they continue to expanding. They just they like I said, they're taking their eyes off themselves and they're looking at everyone around them. And that's what our world needs is we're all with the difficult times that we're going through. A lot of people are going through, just looking out. And again, some of the ideas that we have in our caring culture tip sheet that I said at giftfromsandy.com, they're ideas. Call a mentor to say thanks. Buy someone coffee that's in the line behind you. Give a flower to someone. Thank a service worker. Give someone a thank you note. That's what's so nice is for those people that are a little bit more shy, they don't have to go out there, but just write 12 notes on that day and mail them out on that day. That's what's great. Or just send texts. So there are simple things that people could do to reach out. And oh my gosh, you guys, you know, if what was so powerful is on those 12 eye care days is that the kids, people just wanted to keep going. It really made a change in that school to real caring, and that it dramatically changed that school, the culture of that school from that point on. Kids were looking out for each other and wanting to do things. And then, like I said, some of them were saying, can we do this every month?
Love it. Love it.
Mm.
Definitely. So it was the 12 and 12 eye care day, but hey, let's do it every month and carry it on and build that culture of caring. Thank you for joining us, Sandy, and
Thank you, Patrice and
yes.
Cindy and Elizabeth. Great to see you guys, and thank you for the privilege. And bless your audience too. Thank you, guys.
Well, I want to say that I really appreciate this. And in that tip sheet, I noticed that you had hug someone. And I
Yes,
know that I work with a lot of people that are seniors or have had strokes or had other things. And human touch is something that is very, very underrated. It is incredibly healing. And we
yeah.
actually talked about that and we gave self hugs. So I
Oh,
want everybody here to just hug themselves and just feel that. And it can't help but smile, which is also very healing.
yes.
So thank you very much.